Let's do the next one. Ultra bass 10 note away minor 7. The beautiful minor 7, the bluesy note that's in minor blues and the major blues, right? So well, that's an important one. So let's do that one. We're going to say 10 note away. It's a 7, so it's going to be a 7th, so it's going to be the same because it's an odd number. So if I counted it up, skipping every note, it would be 1, 3, 5. That would be my triad. But if I just went to the next one up, it would be a 7. And we're looking at a minor 7 here, 10 note away minor 7, as opposed to what would be on a major scale, which would have an 11 note away major 7. All right, if I look at it on the same string, I'm going to say I'm not going to go this way. I'd have to go 10 notes up. Therefore, I'll look at the inverse distance, which is 12 minus 10, which is back 2. So it's right there. So that means, like, if I was here and I go back 2, if I went from D to E, 2 note away, major 2nd, and therefore, because the circle has 12 notes, and we go the other way, we go from E to D, because I like to go the long way. I like to go the scenic route. I like to get a little exercise around here. That's going to be 10 note away, minor 7. Actually, I just don't know where I get lost. I usually go the long way because I pick the wrong way every time I get lost in the forest. All right, whatever. I'm going to go up 1. There's going to be a D right here. So if I go up 1 string, then we have to find the inverse distance. 12 minus 10 is 2. So therefore, it's going to be negative 5, 4, 3, 2. So let's find it here. Negative 5, 4, 3, 2. And so that D right there. So if I went from D to E, that would be a 2 note away minor 2nd. And therefore, the inverse from E to D would be a 10 note away minor 2nd. Sorry, the top to bottom would be a 2 note away major 2nd. Inverse, therefore, E to D, 2 note away minor 7. So therefore, if I go up 1 string, the 10 note away minor 7 will always be 3 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which could only happen on the B string, right? It could only happen here, in which case the D you can see is right there. What would happen? Well, this tectonic plate shifted forward, therefore they have a lesser distance. So if I go up 1 string, the 10 note away minor 7 will be 3 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the B string, in which case the 10 note away minor 7 will only be 2 frets forward. All right, let's go down 1 string. Let's go down 1 string. Take it down a notch. Could you take it down? And I will not take it down a notch. I'm the one got cheated here. I'm one got cheated. Taking his part. Okay, let it go. Let it go. We're gonna. Let's take it down 1. We're gonna say if we go down 1, we're gonna say this is gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we go down 1, it's gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. So that means that if I go down 1 string, the 10 note away minor 7 is always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward, which is kind of easy to remember because that's like the maximum that we can usually reach by putting our finger on both of the strings, unless we cross the fault line, and it can only happen 1 time. It can only happen on the G string to cross the fault line. So if I cross the fault line here from that E, for example, to this D, it's going to be just out of reach, right? So that's kind of a pain because this tectonic shift moved the plate up this way. So that means usually the 10 note away minor 7, if I go down 1 string, it's 5 frets forward. But if I cross the fault line, which only happens on the B string, then the 10 note away minor 7 is going to be 6 frets forward, which is just out of reach, making it a little hard to play the blues on that one unless you've got big old hands, which I do not. So I've been watching classical players, and there's these little petite, pretty, normal sized women, and they can reach, if they could do it, if they can reach stuff, man, then I feel like, I should be able to, okay. So if I go 2 strings down, if we go 2 strings down, then we're looking for a 10 note away minor 7. So 5, 10 is going to be down here. So we're going to say 5, 10, boom. So if we go 2 strings down, the 10 note away minor 7 is always going to be on the same fret unless we cross the fault line. And there's 2 times we can cross the fault line. It might happen on the D string, right? If I go 2 strings down from here on this string, then it's gonna, you can see that the shape got shifted up. And if I was on the G string, if I was on this string and I go 2 strings down, then I cross the fault line because the fault line is between these 2. So if I go 2 strings down, the 10 note away minor 7 will always be on the same fret unless I cross the fault line, which can happen either on the D or the G string, in which case the 10 note away minor 7 would be 1 fret forward. All right, makes perfect sense. Let's go down 3 strings. If I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, 5, 10, fault line goes up here to 15, 15 minus 12 is 3, 2, 1, 0, getting me back to the octave, or 12, 12, 11, 12, 11, 10. So there it is. Let me count it up this way. So it's going to be from here, 5, 10, 15, 15 minus 12 is 3, 2, 1, 0. So there's the octave. And then, or 12, 12, 11, 10. Boom. So is that right? Yeah. So if I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, which is often the case if I go down 3 strings, there's only one exception that I don't cross the fault line. If I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, then the 10 note away minor 7 will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back. Now, when won't I cross the fault line? Well, it can only happen if I was on the top string. So if I was on the top string and I went down 3 strings towards the floor, then we're gonna have it back here, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in other words, if I go down 3 strings and I don't cross the fault line, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets back to get to the 10 note away minor 7. But if I go down 3 strings and do cross the fault line, anytime I go back, it's going to lessen the distance because, you know, this shift moved up. So if I go down 3 strings and I do cross the fault line, it's going to be only 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back to get to the 10 note away minor 7. You see how that's working? Now if I go to the last one, otra vez, we can get to this one, la ultima vez. Is that how you say it? The last one? If I go to the last one here, we're going to say, it's going to be here. Now, I could find it either way. I could find it by counting it down, by saying this is going to be 5, 10, and then across the fault line, 15. 15 minus 12 is 3. 3 plus another 5 is 8, 9, 10. Or I could say it would be easier to find it on the string above it because then I only have to go up 1 string. But to do that, I have to go to the inverse distance. And if it's a 10 note away minor 7, 12 minus 10 is 2. So that would be negative 10, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. That D is matched down here. Either way we do it, we can see that if I count it up here, well, let's just grab it. It's going to be right there. So if I go down 4 strings, I will cross the fault line by definition anytime I go down 4 strings because it's impossible to go down 4 strings and not cross the fault line. Therefore, if I go down 4 strings, the 10 note away minor 7 will always be, no exceptions, people, always be 1, 2, 3 frets forward. So let's end it with that definite point of certainty that without any exceptions.